Live from the Outpost Studios in Columbus, Ohio, you're listening to All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy. Brought to you by IPMNation.com. Get ready for the gong heard round the world.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All Natural Being. Warning, All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy is designed to shake your sense of self to the core.
It's full contact psychology with an empowering twist, a philosophical loofah for your soul.
For those of you not ready or comfortable releasing your inner superhuman, listener discretion is advised.
Here's your host,
Brian Brawdy.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us here at All Natural Being. Hold on, let me find out what I'm doing here. Thank you for joining us here at All Natural Being, the Sunday night edition. And if you're joining me from my little post not too long ago over on the profile page, thank you so very much. I appreciate it. Had a little bit of a glitch on Thanksgiving. If you happen to be coming to us along about or from that, a little bit of a glitch. I'd like to call it a computer glitch. I'd like to call it a technical glitch. Only glitch was me, my mind, my brain. So I thank you for putting up with it. You know, the show was a little horizontal, then a little vertical, and blah, 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 blah. But I think we have it worked out. We're back in the studio this evening. Glad to be here. Let me tell you that much. Absolutely glad to be back in the studio, back with the cameras hooked up the right way and everything else. So I thank you for, just kind of putting up with us as we were getting through that, because Thanksgiving was a big day for me, and I just wanted to make sure that we did it right. And of course, I messed everything up. Well, thank you again for stopping by and hanging out. This now the 373rd episode of the #1 rated show here on IPMNation.com. You're in to All Natural Being, and the gong, as you just heard, the gong heard round the world. Broadcast as it happens, thanks to our good friends at Telestream's Wirecast right here on IPMNation.com/TR now, and also multicast live on Facebook, over on All Natural Being, and on our app as well. If you have a chance to head on over to our app, then you know what I'm talking about. However you come to hang with us, we're always pumped to have you live from the Transitional Radio Uplink here in Columbus, Ohio. I'm just getting a text here that says just west of us, supposed to get all kinds of snow throughout the night. That'll be something else. Our rebroadcasts are on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, YouTube, all the other usual suspects. Greetings wherever you are. Here in the Garden of the Mortals, the labyrinth of life itself. Got to come over here, cross this off, go here, make sure the volume's turned down. It's always something with me. What are we going to talk about this evening? Oh, we could talk about, here's your chance to be mouthwatering to yourself, as I say all the time, because it's in your blood. Now, you just have to get your mind to remember it. That's why we're here, to be your, as it were, amnesia buster, your friendly blue force, always putting your heart's highest priority top of your list. I thought of it over this weekend. All we're really doing is reinstalling and then reinstating your true wit and wisdom, the wallop of your inner whisper, rebooting your robust, finding your ferocious, commencing your counterpunch. You deserve a counterpunch. But you're also ready to out-brutal the brutal that is the cut and shuffle that fate can deal you on a daily basis, and to bring your own bold, once and for all, the ups, downs, the lefts, the rights, the pivots and swerves here in the labyrinth. Time to bring your own bold. But before we hit it this evening, hello to my friends here in the United States and Canada, Mexico, the UK, my good friends in Ecuador, China, the Philippines, Brazil, India, Australia, Germany, Italy, France, Nigeria, Turkey, Japan, Singapore, Thailand, Belgium, Sweden, Israel, South Africa, Egypt, Puerto Rico, Kenya, the Netherlands, Iran, Colombia, Greece, Ireland, Argentina, Peru, Austria, Poland. To those joining us from all over the globe, it really is great to have you with us. Thank you so very much. We know there's all kinds of places that you could go to hang out to get some information. I truly am fired up that you've decided to pick us, and fired up to be driving your bandwagon, to be your virtual hitchhiker if you're on your go. And you know what? I love that about riding shotgun. I love about getting the opportunity to hang with you. So what do you say? What are we waiting for? Here's your opportunity. Speaking of opportunities, here's your opportunity to mortal up. Let's go kick in some doors. And again, to my friends joining me over from our, what is it, like your friends page, or your personal page, or whatever, that are joining us over here. My apologies for Thanksgiving evening. I don't know. The whole thing was shot in the front seat of a car. And then I had the, it was horizontal, then vertical, then horizontal, then vertical, and then, upside down, left, right, whatever it was. And then when I finally got it figured out, I go, oh, wait a minute. Well, I'm not even on the right page. I had broadcast that to my personal page and not the Mortal Up page here on Facebook. So again, my apologies. You're vertical this time. Oh, I can go like this if it makes everyone go. Thank you, Henry. We're just talking about you, but I'll get to that in just a minute. Heather, thank you so very much. Chris, thank you for joining us really now, officially here on the All Natural Being page. Henry as well. Wayne, good evening to you. Thank you so very much. Heather, nice to see you. Great evening to you as well. Heather, no video, Brian. Oh, there you are. Okay, well, thank you, Heather. Rita, nice to have you. Snow. That's a 4-letter word, Brian. Boy, you're not telling me. My son was just telling me that they're supposed to have like 2 inches an hour for the next 7 hours, just west of us in Chicago. No, thank you. And for those of you that have driveways that need to be shoveled in the morning, I say make the kids do it. Right? They got the back for it. They got the knees. Good evening, Lee. Thank you so very much for joining us. And Kelly. Kelly, I love the pictures of the turkey. Thank you so very much for joining us. Mary, nice to see you. And speaking of loving the pictures, Mary and Joseph, I have to tell you, the pictures have been great of your little get-together and just some of the wilderness adventures that you've been on since we spoke last. Just awesome pictures. Makes me homesick. And I've never really lived all that long in your part of the world, but it absolutely makes me homesick. Let it go, Brian. We all forgive you. Life happens. I know. Thank you so much, Heather. I appreciate it. Sorry, but I love the snow. Mary, I'm with you. I got in trouble the other day because I pulled up and someone said, oh, well, at least it's not snowing. And I heard another guy, one of the principals at the school, go, oh, I love the snow. And I said, well, I love snowball fights. So I'm with you, Mary. I love packing a good snowball and then smack right in the kisser whenever you're picking a snowball fight battle. Joseph, greetings and salutations to you as well. Thank you so very much for joining us here at All Natural Being. A quick programming note, bottom of the hour, 8:30, our good friend Henry G. Noel. Thinking Re-envisioned. Matt Connerton over at IPM Nation. Matt, thank you for joining us. Jenny, thank you for joining us as well. We started our a little show tonight that we're going to be broadcasting 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday nights called, what is it called? What is it again? Sneak Speak. All right. We're talking about things like a weekly preview of what's going to be coming on IPMNation.com, so that if there's some other really cool shows I know they're really cool shows, like I met a young man named Matt from PolitiPod. I think that's the name of it. Let me look over here just real quick. PolitiPod, that's going to air Wednesday, big day Wednesday, 9 a.m. Eastern. If you have an opportunity, PolitiPod, I think you're going to love that. Reason that I say Wednesday is a big day. Let me say hi to Kathy very quickly. Kathy, hi, hello. Thank you for watching us here at All Natural Being. Why Wednesday's a big day? Because I go back, of course, 9 a.m. for PolitiPod, 9 a.m. Eastern, if you want to catch that on IPMNation.com. Also, Wednesday for me, at 1 p.m., I'm counting down the hours. 1 p.m. Wednesday, I go back to my neurosurgeons and the neurologists and, the staff on the floor, probably a parking lot attendant. Everyone gets to vote on whether I've eclipsed this thing they call a brain tumor aftermath, whether I've beaten it, whether I really am the freak of nature that the doctors now say that I am. And we'll decide, #punt the shunt, we'll decide collectively. Hi, Kathy. We'll decide collectively whether I get this thing yanked out of me. I can't tell you. I can't wait. So that's another reason that Wednesday is big. Oh, and I have to say, my son Parker advises me that Wednesday night, he's excited about All Natural Being, that I'm sure, right? He tunes in probably. I don't know. He's 18. He tunes in never. But you know what I'm saying. Other than that, Wednesday night, right after the show, Vikings, the season premiere of Vikings. And I know you're asking yourself, how long could that show go off air? It seems like forever since it was on. But Wednesday evening, get your freak on. Yes. Thank you, Joseph. Wednesday, I will definitely be getting my freak on. Politipod in the morning at 9 a.m. Then The Doctor. I've waited 2 years for this, and I cannot wait to see the looks on everyone's faces in the room where I go, you know, that's a cool thing about having a vote. I'm the patient, so I get the my vote's the one. It's like calling in the vice president, right? If the Senate's tied and he gets to throw it, I'm throwing the vote, right? I want this thing out of me, and I can't wait for Wednesday night. And then, as I say, Marie, thank you so very much for joining us here at All Natural Being. And as I say, also the premiere of Vikings will be this coming Wednesday. So a big day, the 28th. Also, belated happy birthday to my oldest son, Parker, turned 18. I hope you had an absolute blast. I really do. Also, I want to catch you up on 81 to Win. Very excited about it. We're working to make sure that, just like in the 24-hour marathon when we did that, 81 to Win, we're building it so that it's really great content, or so we hope. So if there's anyone that you'd say, oh, you know what, I'd like to hear that person interviewed, or I'd like to be able to hang on the phone with that person, or I'd like, right? You know, and maybe, Henry, we could talk to Shane. He's busy preparing for his 2020 run. You know, you might say, oh, I'd like to talk to a future presidential candidate in 2020. Then we would like to get him on 81 to Win, which will successfully complete. I'm telling you, I refuse to lose. We will successfully complete our 81 hours of live call-in radio. We will complete that on February 14th, Valentine's Day, or Valentine's Day, if you know how to speak English properly, Valentine's Day at 6 p.m. So over that 81 hours, if there are people that you'd like to talk to, if you go, oh, I think this would be great to talk to this person or that person. Good evening, Nell. Nice to see your smile pop up as always. Chris, praying for good results from your doctor Wednesday. Brian, Chris, thank you so very much. I got to tell you, it's right. For the first time in 2 years, no headaches, no nausea, no Parkinson, right? No shaking, no ringing in the ears, none of the other stuff. It's all good news already. I think I've finally have reached the point where just all the other doctors around me will be convinced of the same thing, that my body did what it could to reject the shunt, and now it's time, very thankfully, very gladly, it's time to yank this thing out of me like that. Like I've said before, the alien coming out of that chest in the movie with Sigourney Weaver, right? I'm ready for it to be yanked out. So Wednesday turns out to be a pretty big day. Thank you so much, Chris. I super appreciate it. All right, so for 81 to Win, if there's someone that you'd like interviewed, if there's someone you'd go like, oh, yeah, that would be a cool person, that'd be a reason that I would call in and hang. And I should also say, I have friends coming in from all over the country that'll be stopping by here in the studio. I've got friends. Good evening, Brother Wallman. Nice to see you. I've got friends coming from all over that'll go, hey, yeah, I'll come in and keep you honest. I'll come in and keep you awake. I'll come in and throw wet paper towels at you, whatever it's going to take. I've got some people from all over, and if you'd like to stop by and see me, I'd love to have you. That would be great. The guest room's already filled, as is every couch, but I mean, I think we could throw a thermarest down. I think we could do some other things. If you don't mind a camping pillow, I've got a bunch of them. But I would love to have you here. Stop by over that attempt, throughout that attempt. I know Wayne's coming. Thank you so very much, Wayne. I appreciate it. I know Sue is coming. Thank you so much, Sue. I can't wait. We started this insanity a lot of years ago, my friend, and oh, man, I don't know. But in any event, it's going to be a thrill having you here. Going to birth a shunt. Yes, you know what, Joseph? That's exactly what I'm going to do, right? As I said, the hashtag is going to be called Punt the Shunt. But it is coming out of me. Rita, thank you so very much. It's going to happen. And so I think what I'll do probably right after that is I'll probably, now that I know how the phone works when you want to do a Facebook Live post, I'll probably post something the moment the elevator doors open and I get out of the hospital on Wednesday. I'll probably post something that should let you all know that it's official, that I really am going to be minus. Well, I won't be minus the shunt, right? They're not going to take it out of me right there. It's not like, having a spark plug replaced. I got to, I'm going to have to work out, get in shape, do all this and that. And then they'll book a date a little later in the year, probably after the 81 to win. They'll book a date later in the year for me to come in and have a mani-pedi and a brain surgery, right? To remove this thing once and for all. And I'm just giddy. I can't even tell you. I'm beside myself thinking that this thing is finally coming out. David Ray Bowman, thank you so very much for joining. Oh, thank you for joining us. I got all excited when I heard about a Dremel and a pick. I'll pull it out for free. You know what? I'll tell you, brother, I had to threaten that. I said, look, don't make me start pulling this thing out on my own because Dremel, I'll get, and then I'll just report to the emergency room and I'll make you finish the job. So they were pretty cool about it. They go, no, Brian, we know you. Don't start pulling the shunt out on your own. But thank you, Brother Wallman. I always know I can count on you. David Ray Bowman, thank you for joining us here at All Natural Being. I hope you're feeling better. Give us a sign. Ola to you as well. Give me a sign, thumbs up, thumbs down here in the feed. Let me know how you're doing. I've been thinking a lot about climbing Mount Rainier, and let's stick to it, brother. Whatever we got to do to get out of the the medical mayhem that we're both involved in of late, let's make sure. Can they videotape it? I will tell you what, and I got to check with Henry because he's knowledgeable about this kind of stuff. Is the shunt removal? No, well. When you talk out of that, when you talk out of your, as often as I do, then maybe it should be a rectal procedure, Henry. Maybe it should be the case. Mary says, it's kind of cool how many people you have contact with when you go through a trial like this, isn't it? I would bet that many people have been positively influenced by you, Brent. Oh, well, Mary, thank you so very much. They are encouraged by your energy, your attitude, and your sense of humor. I know we have been encouraged by you. Well, Mary, thank you so very much for saying that. Oh, Kelly says she's got rooms for rent. Well, she's not far from the studio. Matter of fact, if I could open these windows down, they cement the windows shut so I can't get away, right? In case I have another lapse of amnesia, right? I'm not allowed the car keys and they cement the window shut. But other than the cement windows, all right, David gives a thumbs up. We're ready for Rainier. Kelly says she's got rooms for rent. That's great. And people could just walk over. Kelly, if I could ask, how many showers? Right? So if there's a couple, I mean, you probably keep your own shower, right? But if we get a couple showers as well, maybe we could have maybe I'll just can I rent a block of rooms? What is it? Not Uber. Who is that? Airbnb? Yeah, Kelly, let me know. Maybe I can rent a group of rooms and that'll work out well. And we'll all be able to celebrate together on Valentine's Day. Let me see. Oh, that's a very good point. Facebook Live the surgery. Wouldn't that be fantastic if they would? Here's another thing. Really the most pressing thing for me. Do I get to keep the shunt? That's what I need to ask Henry. He's a pretty knowledgeable guy. What are the bets? Do I get to keep it? Right? Like, can I put it in you go into those old bars out in the country, you see those pickled pig's feet and whatever that green liquid is. Well, will I get to keep the shunt in an own little, like a bell jar full of whatever? Do I get to keep the shunt? That would be great. Good evening, Alice. Thank you for joining us. And John, nice to see you, brother. Thank you so very much for joining us here at All Natural Being. Bed and breakfast. Well, 81 hours, I'm not allowed to take the bed part of it. But you know what? Could I stockpile those breakfasts, Kelly? Because I have a sense I'm going to be pretty hungry when we're through that. That sounds great. So Kelly's saying, hey, we'll get a list started for a bed and breakfast. And you're welcome to sleep here on the couch in the studio if you like as well. Let me see. Jenny says, that's how we get to keep our ports, LOO, if I ever get mine out. Well, I wish you all the best. We are Borg. Yes, we are, Jenny. Absolutely true, but I won't get to say that anymore. Mary says, yeah, Kelly, just buy some of those Dollar Tree honey buns they have at Super 8. The Super 8 Continental breakfast. I know, right? Can you really go on vacation without those Dollar Tree honey buns at Super 8? I mean, is Disney World even worth it without those honey buns? Heather says, you paid for it, if not in dollars, but in time. Heather, you are absolutely true. I don't know. You shan't do it. I like that. Thank you so much, Brother Walman. I agree with you. So that's the scoop. That's what everything's going on about the 28th coming up on Wednesday. And then now the big word is that we're going to be able to rent out some of Kelly's rooms, and it's a bed and breakfast. So we should have the ability for you, if you want to come by and hang out during the 81 to win, that would be great. All right, so the thought about tonight's show that I wanted to mention here in the last 10 minutes and 19 seconds before we have to throw it to Wayne to get ready for Thinking Re-Envisioned and our good friend Henry Noel. Let me say quickly, good evening, Sarah. That was a huge Santa Claus that you had in that picture the other day. I really enjoyed that. Nice to see you. Thank you so very much. Please tell everyone in upstate New York we said hello. Thank you for joining us here at All Natural Being. And also, I wanted to make mention. Oh, hold on. Let me see. Who do we got going here? Let me see. What button am I supposed to hit? Oh, this button. All right. So this says number 1. I go like this. Good evening. Welcome to All Natural Being. Who's this?
Hey, you shouldn't do it. I love that.
I shouldn't do it. Wasn't that a great one? I should have known that was you because I hadn't even given out the toll-free number. So my apologies. Henry, how are you, brother? What's going on?
I'm just excited you're doing so well, man. I'm just so pleased. I was so stressed about all that stuff. So it's wonderful to see that you're just up and running and just being your crazy self. I love it.
Well, you know what it is, Henry? For the first time in 2 years, over the last 2 weeks, I've woke up in the morning with no headaches. I mean, no headaches, no nausea.
I love it.
Right? I can bend over. I can touch my toes. I can pick up stuff off the floor. Right? No nausea, no shakes. It got to the point where I was shaking so bad I couldn't hold a glass. You know, you were here. Yep. I couldn't hold a glass without it clamoring on my teeth, so I had to have a sippy. Well, I didn't really have to have the sippy straw, but if you're going to drink out of a straw at my age, why would you do a normal plastic straw? You can have one of those colorful loop-de-loop sippy ones. So I had to drink everything out of a sippy cup, right? All that, except for the sippy cup straw. I'm holding that. I'm not crazy, right? I may be brain damaged, but I'm not nuts. So I'm going to hold on to that because I got a whole pack of colorful sippy straws. I'll hold on to those. But I'm telling you, brother, I get up most mornings and I just pinch myself. I can't believe, because as you know, there were plenty of times where I couldn't sleep more than 6 hours. If I was horizontal for more than 6 hours, you know, the shunt apparently went into vacuum mode and pulled out every bit of spinal fluid my brain had left. So now to be able to sleep 8 hours, wake up without the headaches, without all that stuff, all of it, it's just fantastic. I can't tell you how much it just grabs me every day. Let me say quickly hello to Lisa. Lisa, thank you for joining us. Joseph has all these eyes looking at Wayne. Wayne, you should know the other night, Thanksgiving, Henry, I don't think Wayne was around. Always watching Brian, he says. I don't think Wayne was around, but Joe Haggerty jumped on and he gave me a little emoji that is a clock and a set of eyeballs. So he was like Wayne's mini-me Thanksgiving night to let me know it was time to wrap it all up and get ready to go. So Joseph, thank you again very much. I super appreciate it. And Mary also, thank you so much for the really nice compliment a bit earlier. All right, Henry, I'm sorry, I blew your whole segment, but for the next couple minutes, what are you working on tonight? What's Thinking Re-Envision going to be all about?
Well, I think what we're going to try to do is we'll find out what everybody wants to talk about. But I think in case there's no topics or anything, then I really want to talk about and find out what everybody, what's keeping everybody from their all-natural being.
I saw that this morning.
Let's stop all the excuses and let's see what we can do. And I threw a quote in there from Eleanor Roosevelt, that said that you wouldn't worry so much about what others think if you realize just how seldom they do.
Boy, isn't that the truth? So now you're doing kind of like
what it is that keeps people from their all-natural being. What is it that keeps them from modeling up? So
that's a great question.
What we can do about that.
That's a great question. I would love to know what you hear back from everyone. For me, it's that sense of understanding that you've got enough shellac, you've got enough varnish, you've got enough plaster of Paris, you've got all these other things that have been piled on you. So it's really not so much finding your all-natural being. It's just like a giant excavation, I think is what I've come to understand, Henry, right? It's like it's in there. It's in there. You remember the old commercial, the Italian sauce commercial? And I don't even know if I can tell the commercial because maybe I'll be guilty of culturally appropriating again, which will be fine because that'll be like the half-dozenth time today I've used a cultural appropriation to trigger somebody. But in any event, they're making Italian sauce, they're making spaghetti sauce, and the kid comes home from college and he's talking to his grandmother and he says, "Oh, you're making sauce." And the grandmother nods and he says, "Oh, did you put in the peppers? Yes. Did you put in the this? Yes. Did you put in the this? Yes, 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 yes." And then the grandmother turns to him and goes, "It's in there. It's in there." And you look at
in there. That's
it. And what was it? Ragu? I don't know, a ragu or a presto with some right sauce. But that's the thing that I think about all the time when I think about All Natural Being. It's in there. It's in there. No bling, no baubles, no shtick. It's in there. It's in there. What are you going to do? Right? To remove all that.
That's the whole point. It's already there. We just have to get in there and bring it on up. It's all there.
Joseph calls it internal archaeology. I like that. Mary says, Joe was your understudy. Well, Joe, let me just say this before. I don't want to take up any more of Henry's time, but Wayne is a phenomenal. If you have to be someone's understudy, you want it to be Wayne, right? I mean, he kept texting yesterday to make sure he was poking the hornet's nest that is Ashley during an Ohio State football game. And then the texts ended as soon as they started mopping the field with Michigan.
God.
Yeah, Wayne is a great understudy. You will absolutely love that, Joseph. Jenny says, I think she's answering your question already, Henry. She says, to get out of your own way. I bet you're a fan of that idea.
That's it, Jenny. And she's got it. Get out of your own way. And that's really it. It's all there. We just got to let it out.
All right. Speaking of getting out of your own way, I'll let you get going so you can get ready because any minute now I'll get the eyes from Wayne. Kathy, thank you so much. So I'll let you go, brother. Thanks for calling in. Have a great show. Oh, and you were the talk of the town on the new Sneak Speak over for the IPM Nation thing where we highlight all the different shows and everything else. So I'll fill you in on that later. But really great first episode today with Matt Connerton from IPM Nation. So, but enough about me. I'll let you go and get ready for your show. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right.
Sounds good.
Have a great
good night,
evening.
brother.
Bye.
You too.
We'll talk to you later.
Bye now. All right, everyone. Thank you again. Roll Tide Roll. Now, I seem to know, John, because I don't follow organized collegiate sports. Roll Tide Roll. Alabama, I believe, is the Crimson Tide, so they must have done well yesterday. Congratulations if they did. If they didn't, I'm really not making fun of you. I don't, if it weren't for having the TV on, especially Saturdays here because Ashley's a big Ohio State fan, if it weren't for that. Although I have to admit, I did take a little bit of glee in watching West Virginia one time this year score an extra 2 points and win the game. I don't think they've won a game since, but I did take a little bit of pride in that, so that was cool to see. All right, so what we were going to talk about this evening on All Natural Being is this concept that I've been working on of late called Cut Yourself Some Slack. You know, everyone wants to be perfect. Go Pokes. Now, I have no clue. Okay, Alabama's number one. Pokes. I have no clue. David, I even know where you... Lee Raleigh says go sports. That's me, Lee. That's me. Go sports, go. I have no clue what I'm talking about. None. What we were going to talk about tonight before I interrupted myself, right? Before the spinal fluid hijacked my brain. What we were going to talk, Wyoming. Oh, I think I knew that, right? So that has, there's Wayne's. Wyoming. Okay, go Pokes. Good to know. Go sports. Thank you, Lee. Wayne's watching. So Wayne gives me the 2-minute warning. Hang on, Snoopy. Hold on. Thank you. I'm sure Jamie's going to be very thrilled with that, Mary. Here's my Snoopy. Hang on, Snoopy. I am such an idiot. Hang on, Snoopy. Oh. But in any event, what are you doing to cut yourself some slack? Everyone wants to be perfect. Everyone wants to be dialed in. Everyone, I keep getting these emails, and I don't unsubscribe because I want to see just how far this guy will go, but I could teach you to be magnetic to other people. How would you like to persuade anyone you meet? And I thought, how about you just persuade yourself? There's a novel idea. Everyone says, oh, wouldn't you like to be able to own the room? Well, I go, yeah, I'd like to own the room between my left ear, my right ear, between the front part of my forehead and the occipital. If I could own that room, I'd be untouchable. So that's what I wanted to talk about this evening, is Joseph says we could use that for tomorrow's topic. That is, if I don't have my chemicals hijack me once again, and who knows what rabbit hole that'll lead to. But Joseph, we'll try that. So here's what we can do in the closing minute so that Wayne doesn't have to worry. Thank you, Mary, very much. Here's what we'll do so Wayne doesn't have to worry. When's the last time you cut yourself some slack? When's the last time you stopped worried about being perfect? Well, just do it. Just be you. Your all-natural being. Mortal up. That's what I really wanted to talk about this evening. But we're out of time. Thank you so very much for joining us. If I can do anything, drop me a message, drop me a comment here in the thread. Wayne, can you also go ahead and put up in the thread real quick how people, if they don't know already, how people can get to Thinking Re-envisioned with Henry Noel. All right, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Thank you so very much again. Look, I got a whole 6 seconds left. Have an absolutely fantastic evening. Good night, everybody.